how about the foods that you shouldn't be eating? We already talked about the foods to maximize, which are pretty much the foods that are alive and touched by the sun. But the foods that we should be minimizing is the total opposite. Those are the things that come in a box or a can or a bag, things that have been highly processed because it contains a lot of um, chemicals that can impact our bodies and our genes. So always it is so important that you read labels, especially when you're going in the middle aisles of the supermarket. Make sure that you read the labels and make sure you watch out for the following ingredients. The first one, artificial sweeteners and refined sugar. We all know that eating too much sugar may cause deficiencies, and it can lead to lowered immune function. It can lead to obesity, heart health. It can lead to serious complications. So make sure you always watch your grams of sugar. And we are supposed to eat about 20 to 25 grams of sugar a day, and unfortunately, we eat a lot more than that. So make sure that you always check the grams of sugar. But also make sure that you stay away from things that say sugar-free, because those are the things that have the aspartame and the sucralose, and those are actually even worse. Those are neurotoxins that can impact your brain, and it can lead to things like dizziness, nausea, that kind of thing. So stay clear from everything that says sugar-free. So things like aspartame and sucralose and NutraSweet, stay away from that. You also want to stay away from high fructose corn syrup. And that is a man-made alternative to sugar, and that can lead to things like obesity and cell and tissue damage, and liver damage and mercury exposure. So stay away from the high fructose corn syrup, which unfortunately it's in a lot of our foods, especially for kids. Make sure you read that, you read the labels and stay away from that. You want to stay away from artificial colors, especially children that are under the spectrum of autism and ADHD. That can cause hyperactivity on the kids, and those are pretty much the synthetic chemical colors and the dyes that are added for food appeal, and those are in your cookies, in your cereal, in the yogurt. So you want to stay away from those artificial colors because it can cause allergic reactions and hyperactivity. Pesticides. Unfortunately, a lot of our food, a lot of our produce is loaded with pesticides, and again, that eating that a long period of time, it can be linked to birth defects and nerve damage and cancer and other effects. So make sure you buy organic when possible, as we previously talked about. GMO foods, I'm not going to go into to depth in here in genetically modified foods. I can teach a whole class on that. But those are pretty much the plants or animals that have had their DNA modified, and um, they are crossbred. Okay, so for different reasons. So GMOs have not been they haven't been studied very much. So they have not been proven safe or not safe. So, but it has some studies have been linked that GMOs may decrease immunity, and it may cause resistance to pesticides and insecticides, and they can have a negative impact on genetic functions. So make sure that you look for labels that are GMO free. Then MSG, that's a monosodium glutamate. I don't know how to say it, but that it's a food additive that it's to enhance flavor, and it is found in a lot of the Chinese foods. And that again, it can cause adverse reactions such as headaches, itchy skin, dizziness, to respiratory and digestive issues. So make sure you watch out for that. Unfortunately, there are over 40 names for MSG. So make sure you look it up and stay away from that. Finally, the BHA, actually three more things that I want to talk about. It's the BHA and the BHT. Those are actually preservatives that are in a lot of the foods for our kids as well, including cereals, and that it's a potentially cancer-causing preservative. It has been deemed safe, but it's in hundreds of foods, and that can cause adverse reactions, and it can be a cancer-causing preservative. So make sure that again you look for that. It's BHA or BHT, and it's found in food packaging as well, and unfortunately some cosmetics as well. Sodium nitrate, and sodium nitrate is a preservative that it's added to lunch meats and things like bacon. That those are some of them. They just happen naturally. The nitrates that happen naturally, but some of them have added nitrate, and you want to stay away from that. These compounds, they transform into cancer-causing agents, and this has been studied, and you want to make sure that you stay away from that as much as possible. And unfortunately, it's in a lot of our lunch meats and the hot dogs and the bacon and all that stuff. Noticeable side effects for that include headaches, nausea, vomiting, and dizziness. Last but not least is the partially hydrogenated oils, which is the trans fats. We talked a little bit about fats, and we want to incorporate the good ones like from the avocados and the nuts and the seeds. But we want to stay away from partially hydrogenated oils. Those are your trans fats. And it's been added to produce to enhance appearance and prevent spoiling. It's associated with heart disease, breast and colon cancer, and elevated cholesterol. So again, be careful with that. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.